Africans to come together wherever they may be. And when we do that, the world will be in a different place. Historically, the Africans have always produced leaders and people were thrust, but somewhere down the line, the exploitation that happened in that country and this country and wherever the Africans are have caused us to feel that we are a minority and that we don't count. Nothing could be further than the truth. So let it be said that this city that we call Mount Vernon was one of the places that the African restored and revived its verve, it got its groove on, and it happened here, and because it happened here, it changed the face of the world. So thank you so very much for coming. We look forward to more and more of these unification efforts. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Come on, give it up for the Mayor. Give it up. Thank you. All right. We have the councilman for Mount Vernon here, Mr. Johanna Edwards. Mr. Johanna Edwards, please approach the mic and say a word or two. Give it up for Johanna.
Thank you so much, my brother. It's not much more I can say that the mayor hasn't already said. I am a believer. I understand how or what the strength is that we have as a people. I started out in East Africa. I started out in Rwanda 7 years ago. But I'm also working in West Africa, Ghana in particular. And I want that connection to come together. I want to try to connect Ghana and Rwanda. You know what Rwanda went through. Almost 1 million people died in 100 days. It took 1 million people to die for them to get themselves straight. Let's not do this. We don't have to kill each other, and we don't have to die to understand where we have to go as a people. The strength, as the mayor said, is in us as a people. The only way that the world will represent, or we will represent the world, is if we show the world that we are one. Not East Africa, West Africa, all of Africa. So let's do that, people. Let's do that. I believe it can be done. Like the old poet said back in the 60s and 70s, time is running out of time. And if we don't do it now, then when? We're not doing it for us. And I repeat that. We're not doing it for us. We're doing it for our children and our grandchildren. That's who we're working for. So if we work for that and forget about ourselves and our own egos, then we will go where we're supposed to go. May God continue to bless us and carry us where we need to be. Thank you. Thank you.
Give it up, give it up. All right, we have another gentleman here who is a Westchester County legislator, and he is Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, please. Mr. Williams, give it up for him. He's a legislator. Lyndon Williams.
Thank you. To the chiefs and all of the visitors today, I must say to you that you're never a visitor when you're in a place where you're always welcomed. So I want to, on behalf of the county legislator, which I serve upon, the Westchester County Legislature. I represent the city of Mount Vernon, a very proud city, and to also to welcome you and to really share the brotherhood. Today, I might not be dressed in a suitable dress because I was not aware of the ceremonies as to the, setting out, but it's never about what you wear outside. It's about what you wear inside. And what I wear inside, and I think many of us do, is an understanding that our role are intertwined with the role of all of the African countries. And what we need to be dedicated to is to make sure that the economic benefits that can flow to Africa through this country, that our voices are heard very loudly and clearly, and advocate for that. Because that's what's done with respect to all of the other different cultures in America. We just don't do it enough as African Americans. And I think if we do that more fervently, more persuasively, I believe we can make a huge difference in terms of Africa. And that's what I am really focused on and want to make sure we do. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to say hello to you and to say welcome, and God bless you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. At this point, I call on Rabbi Kahan Malevi to say a word or two. Give it up for the Rabbi.
First and foremost, I would like to begin by giving all honor, praise, and glory to the Supreme Creator of the universe, the one by whom we live, move, and have our being, to the spirit of our great African ancestors, upon whose shoulders we stand, to the Honorable Mayor Davis, to all of Nananoom, to all of the distinguished guests and personalities that are here, to all of the African family, and to all of the friends of Africa that are gathered here today. It is an extreme honor and pleasure to be able to be sharing in this experience. As many of you know, at our residence of Mount Vernon, this is the home that I've been resident in, born in, and a part of. And for the past 20 years, I've been living in Ghana. And so for me to be here to see Ghana and Mount Vernon come together today is a great, accomplishment. And it's a great accomplishment that is a part of a continuity of the commitment of the citizens of this particular city, this county, our commitment to Mother Africa and our commitment to African tradition, our commitment to African culture. And I'd like to say that all of us should feel proud to be in this moment that we're in. And we should give ourselves a round of applause because it's a great accomplishment to bring the African family together. This week, history happened here in the United States of America. We've had President Barack Obama invited 45 African heads of state to the United States of America. That's never been done before. It's never been done before. So we are in a moment and a time and a season in history. But it would be insignificant if we're not conscious of the time that we're in. Because everything that we do must be predicated upon our consciousness of time. When we wake up in the morning and we pursue our task for the day, that is depending on what time it is, it dictates your actions. And we must know what time it is for we Africans in prophetic history of our destiny as a people. What time is it for us? It's first of all time for us to unify as a people, for our collective interest, to promote Africa and the African. As our mayor said, and the speaker said before me, not until Mother Africa has the worthy dignity that she's deserving of, can any African be proud, have the dignity that they deserve as an African. So no matter where we are, no matter what our profession, no matter how much money we make, no matter how high our academic achievements have been, you cannot be your best self and respected as your best self until Mother Africa is respected. So we must all try to figure out what can we do as Africans to lift up Mother Africa. Lift up Mother Africa. That's a personal responsibility that each and every one of us have as African people. And not only that, when we convince ourselves that we've done what we could do for Mother Africa, then we must take on the spirit of ambassadorship and convince everybody else they must do something for Africa, because everyone owes Africa something, but we must show the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. At this point, I will take the pleasure and the honor to invite the Ghana Consul General, the Consular General of Ghana, in the name of Honorable Joseph Akan. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Consul General from our one and only embassy in the nice city of New York. Please Put your hand together and welcome the Consul General.
Good afternoon to you all. Is this not a great day? Is this not a great day? This is a great day in the milestone of African unification. I live just a stone throw away from here, but I never thought that I was so close to home. Where I live, I never saw my brothers like this. But this morning, when we were in the parade, I was observing, and I said, this is home. Mt Vernon is home. Mt Vernon is home of Africans. I live in New Rochelle. I hardly see my brothers and sisters there. The rich display of our culture and heritage this morning is a testimony of our strength. It's a manifestation of our strength. It is not an arrogant one, but it is a rich one. As we walked through the streets, I said to myself, this is not only a rich display of our culture, but it is also a show of our power, our determination, and our strength. I was at a function last night, came home this morning at about 5 a.m., and I couldn't believe that I can make it to this function. But where you have the will and determination, as we did this morning, walking through the streets of Mt Vernon, we can make it as African people. I can see here that today, the theme for this program today is Thirst for Water. Thirst for water. We need water. I've said it and I always repeat it. Water is life. But a few weeks ago, I was home and I also realized that water is not only life, but it is also love. When you have water, you have love, you have warmth, and you have a lot of life. There is a lot of water, clean water here that we have, so maybe we take it for granted. Back home, we don't have much water. And the little water we have, some might not be that clean. So there's little love in Africa, like I say. Here, there's a lot of love. We see ourselves, we hug each other, we shake ourselves. That is love. We need love among ourselves as Africans. And I think that with love, we can move ahead. I would like to conclude by thanking Mayor Ernest Davis for granting us this opportunity, hosting us in Mt Vernon, and assuring us that we can always come here and that Mt Vernon is home to us. Thank you for this well-organized occasion. Thank you all.
Thank you, Consul General. Thank you so much. At this point, I would call upon the Afriye Fontanfon group to, give us some sounds so that we would pour libation after that. Because we can't call on the Lord alone. Where we come from, we had our way of praying. We had our way of calling on the Almighty before Christianity was introduced to us. So everything we do, we go back. Sankofa, we always go back and do what our ancestors did before we were introduced to Christianity. So, Fontanfon. Big round of applause for the Free Cultural Group. At this point, we're going to pour libation. And you know we have in our midst for the mayor. Come on. Give it up for the mayor. Yeah, you saw, he was trying to move his feet according to the drums. Because Adua is not an ordinary dance. You just don't dance because you're hearing sounds. There's a message. It's poetry. And you move your feet according to what the drum is telling you to do. You just don't do it. And I saw that the mayor was trying. He was trying to recite that poetry. He did it very well too. He's a good learner. And this is what we all must do. When you go to Rome, you do as the Romans do. And I've seen that many times when African Americans come to Ghana, they indulge in our culture. They try so hard to be part of it, and that is wonderful. Now, any member of the Nkoga Advisory Board, please come and join them here to pour the libation. The members of the Nkoga Advisory Board, if you're here, if you know anybody who's here, you know the name? Prestige. Is he hiding somewhere? I haven't seen him here, but I understand. Where's Prestige? Listen, Prestige, when you're called, you come, especially if Jerry Oku is the one calling. Oh, here it comes, a branch here. Yes. Japhet Aiku. Japhet Aiku, are you here? All right, please stand with them, the advisory board. Okay. The libation is going to be poured by Dr. Kofi Boateng. So let's hear him.
Yes, sir. As tradition goes, we say that what has to be done with gin cannot be done with water. So we do this with gin. Back home, there's something called a various brand of gin called schnapps that the ancestors seem to favor. But across the Atlantic, any gin is gin. So they'll drink it up. And that works just fine. Okay. So what is the point of a libation? Libation is the African prayer before the Bible was introduced to Africa. It is a way of showing our relationship with God Almighty, with nature and creation, before somebody showed us Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, all the way through Revelation. So we have had our own relationship that has been unbroken to date. So everything and anything that we do, we have to call upon our departed. Why is that? Because, you know, Jesus showed us the resurrection, and that is great. But before Jesus did it, we always believed that when a person dies, only the body dies, the soul lives. We didn't need Christianity to teach us that. We always believed that. And that is the point of libation, to unify those who departed with those who are living. And since they've lived the life that we are now suffering and laboring under, they know a few things that they can show us. They know how to point us towards the good and away from the bad. And so when we pour libation, we beseech them to point us towards the good. And that is the point of it. And libation is a community prayer where we ask for blessings for everybody. So my assistant here is going to pour it 3 times. You see, 3 times. Again, the Bible teaches Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. We always knew 3, the power of the number 3. So you see, there has been this spiritual belief that we didn't need anybody to teach us. But unfortunately, and I'm saying this to my own fellow Ghanaians, some of us come here and we throw away our culture and we say that pouring libation is for the devil. So we go to church and we refuse to pour libation. But here is something that you need to know, that when people came to Africa, they gave us the Bible and they said, we knew how to pray, right? When we pour libation, we keep our eyes open so we can see the enemies coming and we can deal with them. So the missionaries came, they gave us the Bible, and they say, we're going to teach you how to pray. Close your eyes. So we took the Bible, we closed our eyes, and when we opened them, they owned the land and we owned the Bible. And our eyes are still closed. So as the mayor said, and our consul general said, and all the rabbi, the assemblyman, the city council member, everybody says we have to keep our eyes open together to open up Africa for all of us. So here we go. And I say it in Chi, and Patrick will summarize it. Nanam Samafo, Trade Ampon, our Nikata, Iriasi Nina Swo, where we bought a bomb bia, Sassi Ampon in a more Idina Swo, really. Asase a won't poor bia, so ye bruni, so ye fita, so ye tuntum, asante, Mufa bia. Asase a ye didi uswo, asase a ye nom uswo, Ghana asase, America asase, Mt Vernon asase, ye fremu na hwe bi ka ho. Ani braba. Ohia na me ye tu kwan yo. Enti ni aye hwehwe no. Ni aye hwehwe no me enya bi. Na fa nkwe krom, ni nkwe ye kro yi. And yet ye screw kro no emu ayedene. Me nyansa ye de chichiri kro, se ne ye hu wa ha no. Ni aso fa nkwe ye kro yi. Enkwada ye tete omo ha no. Ye sremu anam samafo mafamu da. Enkwana bone sem ni nyina munyi free omo so. Na mo papa no mo kwa adwuma omo nya promotions ibi. Lotu omo to omo nibi. Na omo nso nya bi nkofie. Na say body we ututu no ana ada no ehye. Enti ya mo ye na ada ho ne nso enka afie mfa bi nkofie. Ya me asam nwa. Ene e ba na ni datso ye ni die so ye ni agye. Say wa me ya kai afre ye nuanu ma. Na nanom samafo we de me bom achi kakra. Mo amoton omo. Ya wo ka brofu na ho ne kan yi no mo ntini yi. Se ya be hu omo. Ya ka omo de omo boy ho. Se nyina ye ba ko omo so fo omo adwene mra, omo fo omo sika mra. Ye fa nkoye omo aga na yi. Tinanum samafo mu die ni o. Monta ya church gina pa. Na ne ye nyina nye yi. Kani be se twa ene aba. Oh, I can't know.
Kofi, I don't think there's anything to translate. You said it all. Kofi asked for our ancestors to help us to succeed, to work with our brothers from across the Atlantic to succeed. He asked the gods to help us in that regard. Thank you very much. There's nothing more. Oh, Kofi should say this. Kofi, that time you can't say. I'll be diplomatic. Mr. Akon is here, so I'll be diplomatic. Please.
Thank you all.
All right, big round of applause for Nkoga. Here we go. Thank you, Prestige. At this point, my co-MC, Mr. Mawuli Agbenu, Please, Mr. Mauli, please approach the mic because it's your turn. Okay, here he comes. I thought he was trying to be prestige. Who didn't want to come? Because he was busy.
Ola Jerry, the gun say me chimwa. So I've been on my feet all day. Been here since 8 o'clock. So I had to take a bite so I could have the energy to continue with it. Let's give Mr. Jerry Oku a big round of applause. Like you said, my name is Mauli Agbenu. I have the honor to introduce our chiefs, and I'll start from my right to left, the Queen Mothers and the dignitaries that have graced this occasion. From my right, I have Nana Chiekuo Osuse Akwe of Adam Okobiabe. Please take a bow so people will recognize you for the camera and the TV man. Next to her is Nene Tedake, the first, also of Adam Okobiabe. He's followed by our own Nana Amu Ajibon and none other than Nana Deborah Jamina of Okwabiman Vigu. Next on the list is Nana Amaksa of Sunyani Fiapre, also the Queen Mother of Brown Hartford here in the United States, New York to be specific. The next on the list is Nana Osadieyo Ajipon Bedu Brobi, Omangini of Brown Half Association and Jasihini of Mim Traditional Area in Brown Half. Let's give him a big round of applause. It looks like I skipped one other lady. Please forgive me. It's Nanaya Assyria Yebua of Brown Ahafu. Let's give her a big round of applause and my apologies. After Nana Broby is Nana Kojo Amponsan III, also of Brown Ahafu. Please, let's give them a big round of applause. Now we have the gentleman who calls himself the Prince of Africa, who was carried shoulder high in the palanquin, and is known as Prince Samson, a free year Fonton from. Let's give him a big round of applause. He has a large entourage following him to the background. Next on the list are the kings and queens of the United Voter Association. First on the list is Toby Setrana, who was once the president of National Council of Ghanaian Associations. Toby Setrana, formerly of UVA. The current Toby is Toby Sefoji. He is the leader of the United Voters Association. The immediate past leader of the club, who calls himself the president of National Council, is called Toby Kejieso. Let's give him a big round of applause. And on the far end is the Queen Mother of the club, Mama Mauto Akabua. If there are any other chiefs and queens that are not introduced, please, I'd like to do that as I come around to get the names of other dignitaries to be introduced. The other dignitaries, you've heard from them, the mayor, Dr. Kofi Boateng, Yahuna Edwards, the councilman, Lyndon Williams, the council legislator. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Now that we are settled, we've introduced the elders and the queens in our community. it is time for us to entertain the elders and queen mothers and kings and chiefs, and who is going to do that but none other than the master percussionist, Ochrema Asante. For those who don't know this gentleman, he's traveled widely. He's played with Paul Simon in South Africa, even here in the States. He also played with the great Osibisa. So as he prepares himself to come on stage, if you take a look on the stage, he has all these drums, and he alone is going to play and create some good music for us to enjoy. So, if you don't mind, I welcome to the stage Ochrema Asante.
Please welcome the world-renowned master percussionist and Accra Music Ambassador of Ghana, the living legend, Ochrema Asante.
It has been many sad years since the earth has been filled with the cries of our people. The sounds remain still in the mist. The shores of homes, the Middle Passage, our ancestors were taken are all haunted by the cries of many. Cries that will never stop until the soul can see the unification, the oneness, the returning of Africans to Africa becoming a reality. Yes, they will do that. The people as they were in the beginning hailed the martyrs of Africa. So silently he walked and stood before the world with his bows and arrows that hangs from his shoulders. A profound, significant figure he presents. He looked north, south, east and west, and tears flowed from his eyes. He was black, tall and solidly built, a significance of bodily might. There was a fire looking in his eyes. He seems to consider the world over in pity and dignity. Love glowed in his eyes. His face was calm. A symbol of kindness he bore. Clasping his hands before him, A clank betrayed the fall of his weapon. He was defenseless. On a walk, he saw a white man. Too strange he was, but quickly he ran and embraced this fellow creature of his. Arm in arm they wandered in the jungle of Africa, on thorns, diseases, and tribulations they trod. The agony together they shared. In a life so pure and free, time went by. Wind began to change direction. Life was no more pure and free. The trees, animals, the hills, and the rivers were against the visitor. Is it difficult for the fish to find its nest again? Antagonism prevails. Far in a distance, a sparrow cries. The hill can rule itself. The hill can rule itself. Africa can rule herself. Africa inaweza kujitawala. There are situations you can never explain because no one will believe you. This is a story about a very rich farmer who lives in the farm with his family. They get fresh milk for breakfast every morning. One morning, when he was milking the cow, and just as the bucket was full, the cow kicked the bucket with the front left foot and spilled the milk. The farmer did not like it at all. He grabbed a rope and tied the front left foot to a pole. And he continued to milk the cow. And again, just as the bucket was full, the cow kicked the bucket with the right front foot and spilled the milk. The farmer did not like it at all. So he grabbed another rope and tied the front right foot to a pole. And he continued to milk the cow. And again, yes, as the bucket was full, the cow kicked the bucket with the back left foot and spilled the milk. The farmer was angry, so he grabbed another rope and tied the back left foot a pole. This time, the cow had only one foot on the ground. And the farmer said, let's see how we're going to kick with the only foot on the ground. And again, the cow managed to kick with ground and spill the milk. This time, the farmer was very furious because he has run out of ropes. So he removed his belt and tied the only foot remaining on the ground to a pole. The cow was hanging on all fours. He positioned himself behind the cow and continued to milk the cow. Suddenly, his pants dropped to his knees. As soon as his pants dropped to his knees, his wife walked in and caught him behind the cow. The wife screamed, "Disgusting! What are you doing to the cow? I can't share you with the cow. I want a divorce." The man looked at him quietly and said, "You know, there are situations you can never explain because no one will believe you." This is a story about an African diplomat who moved into an exclusive white neighborhood. He went to the neighborhood store to buy dog food. After picking up the dog food, he walked straight to the cashier. When the cashier saw him, she said, "You people, I heard you've been eating them dog food. Do you have a dog? Go home and bring your dog food before I sell you the dog food. You dog food eating N-word." As a gentleman that he is, he did not say a word. He walked away quietly and brought his dog before she saw him the dog food. 2 days later, he came to the store to buy cat food. The same cashier was on